Oh,
Here we go. Here we go.
there
Here
it
we go.
is.
Oh,
Hey,
but that was
hey.
practice,
All right.
sir.
We in this thing now.
Bring it. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Oh my God. All right, so okay, guys. So I just want y'all to know we just had a clip of fun just a few minutes ago, and we're gonna keep on having this clip going. All right. So I am here today again. We're gonna introduce her again because we're having a phenomenal day with black women making
Yeah.
history. And today we got history with my beautiful Nicole Jocleen. So let's go back and introduce yourself again, girl. Get it.
Okay. Well, my name is Nicole Jocleen, and I'm a filmmaker, independent filmmaker based in Oklahoma City, mainly a screenwriter. I work with a production company called Devoted Media Group, and we've done web series, short films, feature length films, talk shows, anything that you could think of, like documentaries, film wise, we've done it. And, we're just trying to, get that exposure outside of the state. So that's why I really, really appreciate coming on this show. Thank you so much.
Please, I appreciate you just giving me the coming as well. A lot of times when you kind of get in someone's DM, they're like, okay, you're bothering me. I'm too busy. But, you're never too busy for exposure. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that it's like you're about as great as the last thing you did.
Right.
And you know that
Exactly.
as a filmmaker. So, all right. So I was saying before we was keying, right? We was doing a test key. But I was telling Nicole I am Good Morning Liberties, and you guys gonna have to check that out. She's gonna go more into detail in a few. But what made you, first of all, what made you start doing filmmaking?
I started out because I went to college for journalism, and that's kind of when I started to develop the writing.
Okay.
But I did journalism, but when I graduated, it was hard to find a job in journalism. So
Hmm.
I tabled it, just got a job, did the regular stuff, and then I was like, I'm gonna write a book. So
Hmm.
I wrote a book called On the Scene, and a friend of mine, she was like, "You should turn it into a TV show." And I was
Hmm.
kind of like, "A TV show? Like that sounded kind of impossible to me." But then the
Right.
more I thought about it, I was like, "Oh, I can do like a web series." I immediately thought of like Issa Rae, Awkward Black Girl. I was like, "Oh, I can do that." So then, so then I went back and looked at Awkward Black Girl, and I was like studying, like, okay, how did she accomplish this? Like, how did she do this? And I just started looking at my resources, and I was like, I think this is kind of possible.
Hmm.
So I started there with the web series, and then it just been going like one thing after the next, and that started in about 2015.
Hmm.
So it started out I was going to do one season of a web series to promote the book that I had wrote, like a promo, and I was going
Hmm.
to be done. But the director that I was working with, video hero, he was like, "No, let's keep going," and everybody's ideas for it got bigger and bigger, and that's really like what pushed me to still be here doing this.
I love it because I've seen all these accolades. Let me just go ahead and read this that I got in this bio of hers. We're gonna go over a couple, and if you like them, you love it. I want you guys to go in and definitely check them out. And I'm gonna also post them inside of the link once we're done with this video. But she's got "Get Over It." Why title "Get Over It"? What was that about?
That was actually supposed to be. We wanted to make a black thriller. Like we were really
Ooh.
like inspired by Get Out and stuff like that. So we wanted to make something like that. So the thing about black people in scary movies is it's hard for us to come off scary without teetering into funny.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking of, and I was like, what can I see happening, but what's really not scary? And
Okay.
really, like, it's like about the relationship between a mother and her son,
Mm.
and the son kills his mother, which seems crazy in the black community. That's scary to us. Like, what you mean? Like,
Hell
that doesn't
yeah.
happen. So and then it was a playing on that and on mental health, how people have stuff going on,
Mm.
and people just be like, "Oh, just get over it." Like we all
Yeah.
go through that. Like
Yes.
you didn't have girl without your father, so did I. You didn't have this, so did I. Like stuff
Yeah.
is so consistent in our community
Yeah.
that we don't really acknowledge people's pains. We just like, why are you complaining about that when we're all pretty much in the same situation? So
You
that's
know
kind of
what?
like
I,
the
li-
get
I
over
like
it.
that. Yeah, but that's definitely how we see it though. It's like you'll be all right, get over it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's a perfect title, and I'm glad you said that because I have teenagers. I have two teenagers and one little one. He's not little, but he's 11, 10. Well, you think he's 25. You know how we always have. He's 8, but he's about to be 40. Like
Yeah, little man.
think he run this, right? But I was actually having this conversation today in the car with my oldest, and he's 18. And we were talking about that, like how we were the systematic racism one, two, but also how his intellectual thoughts of how we see women being, we don't really have it as hard as black men. And him and I had this conversation in the car, and I'm like, wow, this is deep. An 18-year-old, like, how do I talk about that with an 18-year-old? And, he's like, black men kind of have it, not kind of, he's like, black men have it harder than women do, because we were talking about the nuances of how if you're married to a white man, then it's okay if you're black. So we was just having that conversation just based off of what happened today. But then he was also going into, if he's black, if we're black and it's black, and it's challenging to try to get those types of positions. So it veers back to what you were saying with the get over it. He's discussing with me, like, a lot of times black men are subject and prone to suicidal rates higher than women, because we're telling them, get over it. Don't cry. Don't show your emotions. And it's like, you're 18.
Yeah.
That's a lot to unpack for an 18-year-old. So I'm definitely intrigued and happy that you actually made something like that. When I'm thinking of get over it, we, again, in our culture, we're like, get up, get over it, brush it off, you'll be all right. Those types of attributes to it. But I love that you made that show, or the little small series about it, because it helps kind of bring more awareness to the community. So I love it. Get over it. Now I'm not. I can't say it no more, Nicole.
No, I know. You're like, get over. Never mind. Yeah, I understand.
It's your fault. Now I can't even say it. Okay. So what's the next one? Quarantine dreams. What is up with quarantine dreams, hon?
Quarantine dreams. That was in the beginning of 2020, and the pandemic was like they were starting to say like, okay, only gatherings of 50, or they had like started making those type of rules.
Mm-hmm.
So me and the Voter Media Group, we were like, this like the way we think, we're like, this is a good time to put something out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of weird because everybody was like really scared. That's when everybody was yelling at everybody through their social media, like, stay at home. Y'all are making it worse. So with us trying to do like little filming, people were looking like, y'all couldn't
Why
take a
y'all
break.
not? Right?
But but I think with me coming having a journalistic background,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, oh no, this is a story that has to be told in real time. Like
Yeah.
documenting the pandemic in actual timing. Like we need this footage. We need like because even it's been 2 years and I can barely remember what early 2020 was like. When I go back and I look at quarantine dreams, I'm like, oh yeah. So because it's so easy to forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just like the journalist in me was just like, no, we have to like we need to get something on film about this time period because I understood the time that we were in and we probably never see that time again. So it's fiction, but it's basically all the real stuff going on in the pandemic, but just with like fictitious characters trying to pay their way through it.
And get that toilet tissue off the shelf.
Right. That toilet paper, that was real in the moment, but we had kind of forgot about it. And in the moment, it was everything.
It was
Everything was
everything.
about that toilet
You ain't even
paper.
look. I'm a prior military person, so child, we had baby wires. Okay, what? You said tissue, TP, ATP, no TP. Yeah, baby wipes, and it's like, who wants to go and wipe with a baby wipe? But at least I know that if there's no toilet tissue, I can damn sure go get
Right.
some.
If that baby wipe go get it done.
Get it all together. Oh my God. This is so fun. I love this. I love this, Nicole. Your energy is amazing. And I hope
Thank
you're having
you.
such a great time. I love going
I am.
over. I love going over this. This is like, I feel like, oh my gosh, I got a little girlfriend on the phone. It's Kiki.
Yeah.
All all right. So we're going to take a quick break with Mr. Cole. We're going to come right back. We got our sponsors, which is Socially Gifted. Go and check out Socially Gifted, and you'll also see if you want to be a brand ambassador. Go and shop today. You'll also see the ticker at the bottom that is showing you where you can go and shop, and we'll be right back. We're going to take a break. You as a brand ambassador, so come and check out Be Socially Gifted. It's for showing all your talents that you gained during the pandemic. That's a shout out to you because you gained a whole bunch during the pandemic with quarantine dreams right here. Okay.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay, so we down to cherish love. That sounds so romantic and so like give me the vibe with this. Tell me why cherish love.
Cherish Love was about uh, a girl who's dating a guy, and the guy told her, you know what, babe, like you don't have to work. I got the bills. Just sit and be cute and pretty or
Oh,
whatever.
oh,
But then he proposes, and then weddings get expensive. So with the wedding, he's like, "Hey, you think you can just get like a little job just to kind of help us with the money as we prepare?" And she's kind of like, "No, like,
is she black?
like
Is she black?
she's black." And it's like it's a romantic comedy. So
Okay.
like she's really funny. It's a the lead actress is Azrael Green Pena. She's such a good actress, but so she's kind of like, no, you set me up with this lifestyle. Now you're trying to flip it. No. So they break up and she starts dating through social media. So it's like she goes on all these little quirky dates and basically to find that what he was asking of her in the beginning really wasn't that big. And just showing her what marriage is about, give and take, compromise. And
Oh,
then having a big elaborate wedding isn't really necessary anyway. Like if money is the problem, you don't
yes,
even need to have all that, you know.
yes.
There's a little message in there too, with a little,
All
joke.
these got messages. I don't know what you're talking about. You supposed to little message. All these got some
I, Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna message people to death,
hey,
but
no. I'm just, I'm gonna be watching these. I'm gonna go get the husband and be like, let's watch Cherish Love. And he's gonna be like,
yes,
why? Because he'll go back and think why he proposed to me twice. But that's a whole nother story.
I need to hear that story. Make her wanna marry me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So yes, I'm about to have to go back and watch these things. They are definitely available here on YouTube. I am going to put them on the caption. I want you guys to go and check this out.
Yes,
Celebrate this black filmmaker, okay? Because this right here is just the beginning of this star. I'm just saying.
thank
Your
you.
energy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so draw four. First of all, can you play? Because I know this probably ain't gonna be the real draw four, but is it? Can I do a pile on? Because these titles are just killing me softly. Okay, draw four. What is that about?
Draw four. Okay, we had entered ourselves into this thing called the 48-hour film festival,
Okay.
and in the festival, the way it works is you have to draw like a genre,
Mhm.
and you have 48 hours to decide what you're going to make a film about, pick your cast, shoot it, edit, and turn it in. And
Mhm.
it can only be 7 minutes.
Mhm.
So we picked sports. So we were like, what can we do? I'm more of like a drama, melodramatic, lifetime type of writer. So I was like, sports, what can we do? What can we
Lifetime.
do?
Lifetime. I'm sorry.
Yes, Lifetime raised me. So I'm more like
Oh.
that. But we were like, start thinking about, well, what's a non traditional sport? So we're
Mhm.
like, what about like Draw Four, the game? What if we made like a comedy about two opponents who were who took the game Draw Four way too seriously? So it's like really funny. Actually won the audience award,
Wow.
and it's like people like that know is like it's one of their favorites because it was just like no real script, just like okay, they're playing the game. Let's just go from there. And it's just kind of like a lot of improv and a lot of natural acting, natural, like content. It's really funny.
I love that. So it was kind of close without watching.
Yeah, you gotta watch that one first.
Watch that first before I go downhill.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so draw four. I want these are gonna be my nightcaps. Okay, normally I'm watching Golden Girls. I'm telling my age. Okay, I'm normally watching Golden Girls before I go to bed or Zeus. I'm not getting no promo for that. But at the end of the day, I think I might have to check out this draw. Okay, so these are gonna be my nightcaps now, Nicole,
Yes.
and I'm gonna be in your DM like,
Yes. Let me know.
what is going on? Why did she do that? You got to get the theatrics with it. Filmmakers
Yes.
love that. It's like,
Yes.
do it again, just like that, just like that. We're gonna get there though. We're gonna get there because we ain't gonna keep you all night. But we're gonna get there to that point. All right. So you had 2020, the year of change, and this one is different. It's a little special though. So I want you to go into that one for me.
That Kevin Powell, who works, with Vibe magazine, had like known for his articles about Tupac, and he's like a great poet. I came across a writing workshop that he had on Facebook. So I joined the writing workshop, and in the workshop, they decided to put together an anthology of everybody in the workshop. So people were submitting poems, short stories, just whatever they had. And I submitted a poem. It's called "Thank God for the Internet," and it pretty much breaks down everything that happened in 2020 from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just everything like I think Kanye running for office, like the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
the reemergence of like Dr. Sebi and people want to know more about him. So it just like I was like, if I'm gonna submit, I'm gonna submit. So like I wrote everything
Yeah.
that I can think of in the probably the longest poem I ever wrote and probably ever will write. But it was
Ain't that
cool
wrong?
because they did it kind of like alphabetically the way they listed everybody, and
Mhm.
because my name is Nicole, I was listed right, like my poem is right next to like Nikki Giovanni.
I
So
saw
I was
that.
like, oh, I'm like right next, like
I
right
saw that.
next to the legend. So it was cool, like definitely a cool experience. You can get it on Amazon. Anybody that's interested, it was very cool experience.
Me, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it tonight, and I'm not gonna be next to Nikki, but I'm gonna be damn sure as close as you were. Just reading it. Oh my gosh! So that's why I wanted you to go into that one because I knew that one was more of a special one,
Yeah.
especially with poetry. And I see that you've written five and published. So let's go into that. The books.
Yeah, because I started out with the books, and I've done like two poetry books on my own, and then I did a combined one, which was my latest one called "Don't Be Afraid of Men in Their Faces," that I did with my friend Shayla Monroe. So it's like we both are like two different, completely different poets. So it's like in the same book, it's just really interesting. And then as far as the novels, I wrote "On the Scene" and then "The Church Scene."
Mm-hmm.
So I was really focused on being a novelist until I fell into film. So, and that's, film is a totally different, way of doing things. So I was like, I like the collaborativeness of film, working with a group of people. So I think that's why I'm staying there longer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into that with your filmmaking. Um, how first of all, you're writing still for edible. What is this thing? Edible OKC. What is that?
And it's a food magazine in Oklahoma City. Well, they have them in different states. Like I think ours is Edible OKC. They may have like Edible Dallas, Edible
Oh,
Brooklyn. Like I think it's like that, like just in different
okay.
cities.
Okay.
But it's a food magazine. So I've been writing a couple articles for them. I have my next one is actually about the rise of Black vegans
Oh,
in Oklahoma. So
oh, that
so I'm
sounds
excited about that one coming out.
sounds interesting.
Yes.
During the quarantine dreams I had became a black vegan. You
Say
just
that
summed it
again.
up. I said I just summed it up. During quarantine dreams, I
Um,
became a black vegan.
I be, I became a black vegetarian. Like I couldn't take it to vegan, but 2020 had us all reevaluating
I,
everything.
look, I don't want no beef. I'll give you some chicken. I'll give you some chicken. I'll give you some fish. I'll give you some chicken. Everybody else eats regular here. It's the older you get, the
Mhm.
life and again quarantine dreams happen.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
definitely on that. So on your, I wanted to make sure I had talked about your writing for that too, because that's very important. Because
Mhm.
not only do you write, but you do the film, and you're with the devoted. Tell me,
Devoted media group.
yeah. So how did you get connected with them?
Well, when I was looking to do the web series in the very beginning, I was like, I'm gonna need somebody to be the director. So
Hmm.
I went through everybody that I thought of that does um, film in Oklahoma, and I reached out to a guy named Video Hero. His name is James Ridley, Video Hero. And hold on, is that? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. All right, so while we're waiting for her, we're going to go into a commercial break. And I want you guys to continue to support our sponsor, which is Socially Gifted. And if you want to become a brand ambassador, definitely check us out. We're going to run into a commercial real quick. We'll be right back. You as a brand ambassador, so come and check out Be Socially Gifted. It's for showing all your talents that you gained during the pandemic.
Mhm.
All right, I think I'm back. Look,
Yeah.
between
I'm
social.
sorry.
No, look, you went to your commercial break. I went to mine, and then I couldn't get out of the commercial break. Okay, so
It is. It's funny because this popped up on YouTube on my TV, and I was
oh,
like, it's about to start echoing and all that stuff.
real time, real
Right.
time. You said you got to do it in real time. You doing it in real time. There you go.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, let me stop this.
Look, go back. Look, we already had our impromptu before we went live, so you know
Right.
anything is possible. You're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Roll the tape back. Okay, so let's go back to how you got in. How did you get with
um,
the group, the media group, to write your stories? I want to hear.
yes. I had reached out to Video Hero. His
Mhm.
name is James Ridley. And I had went to his website, and then on his website, it said director. And
Mhm.
that stuck out to me as opposed to the other people whose stuff I was looking at. And I was like, okay, he's already viewing himself as what I need, even though in Oklahoma, we don't really have people that do stuff like that at the time. At the time, we didn't. So I reached out to him, and we started doing the web series. Then basically over time, we just started growing and more people started coming in. A guy named Ronnie Johnson, he's really great at cinematography and he just
Mhm.
directed his first short film that I co-wrote with him that he's pushing through the film festivals. Um, the actress that's actually in Cherish Love, her name is Azriel Green Pena. She's an actress, but she also produces with us too. So us four are like the main people that are doing like the production side of the Voter Media Group, but then just whatever we need with casting or whatever else we add on. But it just really just started growing over time.
Mhm. So, so since you go into that aspect of with the production and then trying to start casting, if you have people that are trying to be actresses or actors or trying to be script writers or just in the world of filmmaking or production, are you part of the casting to help, like, hey, I want this person to be part of my film, I wrote this part specifically for that person? How do you choose that? Is that challenging, especially during quarantine or
Um,
COVID?
well, usually. like I'll see the character a certain way,
Mhm.
and um, I may reach out to somebody that I think would be able to play that part and say, hey, would you be interested? A lot of people, especially in the beginning, they didn't see themselves as actors and actresses, so
Mhm.
they were kind of like, no, it was weird to them.
Mhm.
So you may have to talk people into it, but even if I don't know anybody specifically that fits the role, may say, you guys can send an audition tape and people will surprise you. It could be somebody
Mhm.
you didn't think could pull that off,
Right.
but then once you give them the lines, you're like, oh, okay, I can't see this. And it's not hard. It's actually the funnest part, seeing like a character that you wrote come to life through an individual. So it's always fun.
I'm sure it is. I mean, between these stories you've written and the poetry and the books you've written. I mean, I'm sure there's different types of levels of individuals that you can kind of think of. Because again, we was talking about how Lifetime, they have specific people every time. You may see that same person for this type of role, or you may see them switch a little bit in this type of role. So
Yeah.
we have a question for you. Let's show the question. Tell us about the books that you have written. All right. So did you want to go into that in overview again?
Yeah, I've self-published 5 books. One of them, the very first one is Right Over Wrong, a book of poems. That was a very beginner book that I said once I was sold out of that, you'll never see that book again. Either you
Oh,
got it or you don't, because it was such beginning stages. Um, After that, I went into, I believe it was On the Scene, the novel. Then I went another poetry book, Life is Crazy. That was just pretty much a testimony of all types of things I was going through. Then did the church scene, and then the last book was Don't Be Afraid of Men in Their Faces, which is the last poetry book.
oh my goodness, that was a great question. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cop that. Remember, I said I'm gonna get that. I need. Don't look at them in their faces. So every time I try to look, I'm gonna have to go like this now. And I'm gonna say because Nicole Book said to do that.
Yes.
I just want y'all to know. All right, so with that, so what's going on with you next? What's new? What's besides your writing? Do you have First of all, let's backtrack before we go there. How did you get with Blavity to do the shorts?
You know, I know that I'm a part of different like film groups on like
Mm,
Facebook, and then I follow different things on Instagram.
okay.
I'm not really sure. Somewhere on one of these apps, they posted they posted that
Hey.
they were looking for like content,
Okay.
and like that, like you can't post that, and I see it because I'm gonna be like copy and paste the email address,
Hello.
reach out, and I've over the years I've reached out to a lot of different people and entities. So when they responded back, like, okay, well send us, they were like send us the trailer because I was telling them about Good Morning Liberties. So I
Mhm.
sent them the trailer, and they're like, we like it. And they're like, we're gonna do a film week, and we're actually gonna start it off with that film. I was like, oh my god, I really like it. Like, okay, so I think it's just a timing thing because, like I said, I've reached out to people for years,
Mhm.
and their timing with them starting to show films on their app, my timing with the time I reached out to them,
Mhm.
it just they accepted it, they put it up there, and I am so grateful for it.
Yes, and that's when I slid in Nicole's DM and I said I need to be in contact with you so I can find out how did you even, you we don't see too many black filmmakers. Let's be women, as it is right now. And I actually seen how Kevin Hart actually now has a LOL series for women to write. So I love that
Mm.
we're getting out there because we don't really see too many of us even writing or producing. So I love that I was able to just slide in your DM. I slid in her DM. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
slide in
thank
my
you.
DM.
Thank you.
And like it's been magic ever since. Like I was like, girl, I just need to have you here on my show because rising to the occasion is just not. It's not just about where you at. It's where you at, where you gonna go, and where you gonna be. So people need to hear these stories. A lot of times, um, we don't read as much as we used to. So
Yeah.
everything is pretty much on TV or and if you see it on TV, it's word, like it's gospel. So it's like,
Mhm.
well, if you want to go that far of a route, then why not have people come on here and tell these stories? Tell us how you got from mass communications. Because the publicist that works for Women for the Culture, which I do interviews for, she has her bachelor's in mass communications, and so it's kind of different to hear that you went to filmmaking where she went into public relations and started doing
Mhm.
PR. So it's just like a whole different world, and it becomes like an expansion of a world in entertainment world. So it's like you can go either do it here for film, you can either get somebody in the movies as a publicist, or you can do an actor because you did, so it's just so many targeted audiences, for you to get to. And I love that I was able to just like snatch and grab you up and like, girl, I gotta do this interview with you because that
Mhm.
watching Good Morning Liberties, I was like, if that is not me going through the pandemic, talking to people and then just ghosting folks and don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love that. So tell people a little bit about Good Morning Liberties before we get ready to wrap us up tonight.
Okay. Good morning, Liberties. After quarantine dreams, it's kind of like we were still in the pandemic mindset.
Right.
And by this time, it had turned to like a lot of negativity on social media, a lot of judgment on social media. And I was noticing like I'll follow somebody Monday, this will be their stance. By Thursday, their whole stance had completely changed. So I'm like, what happened in just a couple of days where you felt so strongly about it and now you feel like this? So I'm like, what are they doing to these people? Like, what are they saying to them that is flipping their whole like mind about such a big thing?
Yeah.
So I was watching people do that continuously, and I was just like, just my mind started going. Not to mention, there would be like videos,
Hmm.
on YouTube with people saying like this about the pandemic.
Hmm.
Did you go back? Video gone. And it's like, why is this video being flagged? But any and everything is on Twitter, and that's never being flagged. Like, make it make sense. Like,
I love Twitter. Shout out Twitter.
right? Like, I don't know if anything goes on Twitter, but these little COVID videos are getting snatched down left and right. So I'm just like, okay, so really just, mine started going. And I looked at I remember people were referencing I Am Legend and they were
Hmm.
comparing it. And I remember that filmmaker, she was like, people keep referencing I Am Legend, it's just a movie. So I was like, that's all we got to say? Okay. So
Right.
I was like, I'm putting anything, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
So and I just took that and ran with it. And it's kind of interesting because the pandemic was starting to, go away before it came back. So I was
Hmm.
like, well, this content isn't really that relevant. And then it came back. The pandemic, like, it came back. So I was like, oh, no, this is always going to be relevant. Because this stuff
Yes.
really ain't going nowhere.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and I didn't see nobody else wanted to talk about it
Hmm.
because it was so much judgment. But I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just little me in Oklahoma. And ain't nobody going to care what this little, what this film is talking about. So I just did it.
I know that's right. I mean, if Will Smith slap can keep coming back, this gonna keep coming back. Okay.
Right. As much as they want us to stop talking about the slap,
Yes,
we
gonna
still
keep
talking
coming.
we still talking about Suge Knight at the Death Row at the Source Awards. And that
Come
how
on
long ago
now.
was that?
Hello. Is Tupac here?
Right. We still can't let that go. So yeah.
So it's not going anywhere. This is going to be amazing. It's going to continue to go.
Yeah.
And let people know where they can see it at.
You can see it on the BlavityTV app. It's a free app. So just like I have y'all, smart TVs, your phones, whatever, just download the BlavityTV app and just look on there and you'll see Good Morning Liberties and
Yes.
check it out. DM me, let me know what you think. Share it,
Yes.
whatever. I
Yeah.
appreciate it all.
I told you I'm Good Morning Liberties. All right, you got another question up here. Let's see. Since acting in Good Morning Liberties, can we expect more acting roles from you? Uh oh.
You know what? It's funny because I keep forgetting because I played the prophetess in Good Morning in Good Morning Liberties. And the only reason I played it it's because I couldn't find anybody to play it. So I was like, I can just do this myself. And the way we were shooting it was so like pandemic style with the Zoom and all that stuff.
Right.
So I did it, and then I don't really consider myself to have an on-screen presence. I
Mhm.
can't really see myself acting like that. I don't think that's like my strong suit. But if I'm ever doing anything again and I can't find nobody to do it, and
Mhm.
I feel like I may be able to do it, I definitely will try.
I mean, why not? You wrote it.
Should be able to kind of pull it off.
Hey. Why not? I mean, you wrote, if you write it, you love it, right? It's like you like it, you love it. Who else is going to support it? I mean, a lot of times it's scarce to get people that want to work. So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, that's one less paycheck or one pronouncement or one person you got to feed
right.
and all this other extra stuff that comes with it. But that's definitely a great question to ask is if you're going to go back into doing any more acting. So, do you have any more shorts coming up, or anything that's going to be anything else that's going to be launching soon that you can tell us before we go?
Um, right now we have 328i and OKC Story that is going through the film festival circuit. So we're hoping, get people's attention, get that picked up. There's another like Oklahoma project that we're kind of working on too. Um, I can't really say. I feel really Hollywood saying that I can't really say nothing about it,
That's
but
okay because you are Hollywood. You like
but
Hollywood.
it's still in the very beginning stages of it. But one thing I realized because there's been a lot of writing positions opening up that I've seen like with Netflix and different like a Shondaland posted, job openings. So I'm starting to see a lot more job openings
Hmm.
and little programs. So I've just been submitting to everything, whatever can connect me with either mentorship, resources. I'm just doing all because I've been spending so much time writing that what
Hmm.
I've been lacking is the resources, the connections, learning the actual business, getting an agent. That is like my number one priority.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to focus more on that.
Well, that's good, and I don't see you having a problem getting an agent or getting picked up for anybody. You know, at the end of the day, you're so talented and well diverse. I mean, if you can act in your own script and write poetry and just write these types of stories during the quarantine, I mean, anything is possible. So, it's that's why again, that's why I love having this show Rise to the Occasion because you're rising to the occasion. At
Mm-hmm.
your time and at your level. And I'm just glad I was able to be able to be a part of it and just get everybody to see who you are. Like this black woman just brought out some extra knowledge and information and some quarantine dreams and don't say the word get over it because it's not what you should be saying. Cherish love and others. Draw four. I'm going to be watching. So, did you want to leave us out with anything, Miss Nicole?
I would say go on YouTube and look up the Devoted Media Group page. We have a ton of content. There's gonna be something on there that anybody will like, and just watch different things and just comment. Reach out to me. Look at the names of the people that are involved. Reach out to them. Let them know how you perceive the project, and just share it with your friends and people that you know.
I love it. And again, I thank you for coming and rising to the occasion. You have been an
Thank you.
amazing guest. Oh my
Thank you
God.
so
You gonna have,
much.
you had to come back again when you drop another one.
Yes.
You Hollywood. You my Hollywood. What somebody say? Oh my goodness.
Thank
Thank you all
you.
for coming and joining us for Rise to the Occasion. Come and check me out on Saturday to No Capping. You'll see that dropping as soon as we leave here. I'll talk to you soon, Miss Nicole.
Yes, thank you so much.
Always, it was a pleasure. Bye, you
Yeah.
guys.